Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If y'all doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I pray you are having a great day and a great week so far. And y'all, we are neck deep in summer. Amen. I pray your children are having a great summer vacation if they're out for the summer. And are you okay, mama? Amen. Um, how's your summer going? I hope that the kitties are not eating you at a house and home like my kitties are, which reminds me, I gotta go grocery shopping this week, and I absolutely hate grocery shopping. I wish that there was like a clone of me that could grocery shop for me, and I know that there's like grocery pickup and grocery delivery and stuff like that. And I do utilize those services sometimes, but when I have to do like my grocery shopping, like where I'm buying like lots of stuff like to stock up the house, then I typically tend to do that myself just because when I'm doing it online, like I always tend to miss things. Whereas if I'm in the store and I'm walking around and I see that I need something, then I grab it. So I don't know. And I even work off of a list too. And every time I order online, I always forget something. Like it's crazy. And then also too, like I don't want to run the risk of everything not being there and having to go back to the store. I'm pretty sure I'm overthinking it, and I'm pretty sure that I could um use like grocery delivery or pickup to my advantage so I don't have to go into the store. But that's just me. I'm gonna overthink every chance I get. But um summer for us is going pretty good. I have my daughter doing intramural volleyball. So she's doing that during this summer, gearing up for tryouts on August 1st. So fingers crossed, she makes the team again. And my son Solomon, his drum lessons are actually paused right now because his drum teacher left the music school. So they're currently looking for a new drum teacher. So for now, his lessons are on pause for this summer, which is okay. Because yeah, he eventually he's gonna get a new teacher, but it's just that it's on pause right now. And my youngest son, he is waist deep in his YouTube journey. And then when school starts back up for him, he's gonna pick up with basketball and stuff like that. But other than them just lounging and clowning around, eating up all the food, they're having a great summer. Um, I would say too that I'm also having a great summer. Um, I I haven't planned any trips at all for us this summer because everything has been happening. I got a new job, and with that comes like a probation period, so I can't request any time off, which is okay because I'm blessed to have a job. Amen. So just been kind of like more so planning for the future, planning like for Christmas, what we're going to do for stuff like that, Thanksgiving, and all that good stuff. So but so far, the summer has been good for me. Not too bad. And in today's episode, I wanted to do a mental health check-in with all you mamas because it is the middle of summer. Kids are home. For some of us, it could be a stressful time of year. Some of us, it could be okay. We're also in the middle of the year now. So, we have We have holidays coming up, things like that. If you set any goals or intentions for the year, we're halfway through the year, checking in on those, but also too, not beating ourselves up if we haven't met a goal yet or if we haven't started on a goal yet. But the main idea for this episode, mamas, is I just wanted to do a mental check-in, see how everyone is doing. There's so much going on in let alone in the world, but just in our lives, like in our world that we got going on. There's so much going on, and as you guys know, and I don't have to say because I've said it numerous times, that moms, we carry a lot, and sometimes we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And I just want to check in with you and make sure you're okay. Um, I know for me right now, mentally, like I'm in a mental space where I feel good, I feel calm. Everything is kind of like peaceful, gentle waters right now, but that was not the case a month ago for me. So I know how quickly things can change, especially when it comes to like our mental health and things like that. So I just wanted to check in and just let you know that it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, even though it may look like it's not gonna be okay. It is, and if you're a believer, just keep praying. And also, too, at the same time that you're praying, do your due diligence. Make sure that you're putting in those works behind your faith and your prayer, so that way you see the outcome that you're trying to see. Because there's a lot of things going on that's real out here. There's a lot of moms going through postpartum depression. There's a lot of moms and women who are, having thoughts of ending their own lives. And there's just so many things. And I was actually doing a little bit of research and I found out this term called weathering. Well, like it's not like, I know what weathering is when it comes to, like, how things kinda, like, deteriorate over time and it weathers, like, I know that definition, but I guess there was some research done, I wanna say, like, in 2021, I think it was, where, a Black woman had coined the phrase, and it was, talking about how the racial disparities and inequalities and things of that nature had a weathering effect on Black women, and where it just kind of broke them down internally, like physically, mentally, health-wise, um, just based off of that, the racial disparities and inequalities. So I was like, "Dang, like, we be going through it." So I just really wanted to check in with y'all. And I know for me, I know that when I'm not my best mental wise, like in my head, I can tell there's certain signs that I've been able to identify, which I couldn't before, that lets me know that like, okay, like I need to pause, I need to reset, I need to get myself together, I need to gather myself. One of them being my exterior world, my outside world. So for me, when I notice that like my house is kind of like in a disorderly way, or my room or my bathroom is kind of like unorganized all over the place, and I have zero motivation or want to even like straighten it up or clean it up, that's a sign for me that I know that like, okay, like I need to pause and reset. I need to get my mind together because I feel like your outside world is a direct reflection of what's going on the inside. So I know for me, like when I don't get up in the morning and make my bed, or I don't, vacuum my room once a week or every other week, or like everything on my countertops in my bathroom is just everywhere, rooms disorganized, and then throughout the house too, like I haven't been keeping up on chores. Things like that are signs for me that I need to check myself and figure out like, okay, like what headspace am I in? How am I feeling? What's been going on this week, this month. So that could be different for you, but just for me, like that's one of the signs that I know that I just need to check myself. Um, Another sign that I recognize in myself too is, of course, like the major signs, like if I'm sad a lot or, just kind of down in the dumps and I can't pick myself up out of it. If I've been in a funk for more than a day, then I know, okay, like something's going on. I need to focus on myself. I need to look inward. I need to do, my praying, my journaling, my deep breathing, anything like that to get me back on the right track because something not right. Something's not stirring the pot. So, but those are just some examples on how I identify that I need to do a mental health check-in with myself. But I think it's important that we all do mental health check-ins with ourselves and recognize when we may not be okay. Seek the help that we need, confide in the people that we trust that help us through these type of things. Do the things that help us through the hobbies and the extra stuff that kind of help us to cope. Um, and I know with us, a lot of our mental health is tied around our jobs. And we could be working in a toxic work environment. We could have toxic coworkers. The load of the work could be stressful, putting a mental stress and strain on you. So those are things too that we have to look at and assess. Like, is this adding value or is this slowly depleting me? And I just want us to check in with ourselves today, see where we're at mentally, and if we need to come back to ourselves, however that looks, we got to come back to ourselves because we are, especially for us moms, we are nothing to these kids. I'm going to say it again. We are nothing to these kids if we ourselves are not okay. We cannot be the best moms that we set out to be if we are not working at optimal capacity, whatever that looks like for you. And our babies need us. Our babies need us to be at our best. So we have to take care of ourselves first. And I know we've all heard the saying, like, you can't pour from an empty cup, but what about if the cup is broken? What are we going to do about the cup itself? The cup itself can't even hold water or anything to pour out of because the cup is cracked. It has holes in it. It doesn't have a handle. So we got to make sure to take care of and repair our cups. Amen. And then we can pour into ourselves. So that way we can pour into others. Um, Really quickly, this wasn't meant to be a long episode. Again, it's just a mental health check-in. And before I go, I just wanted to leave you guys with some statistics. Amen. Because you already know I'm coming with statistics. I'm coming with research that I want to share with you guys when it came to mental health, postpartum depression, stuff like that, because I know some of us moms haven't went through it. Honestly, if I went through it, I don't know if I did. I want to say that I might have gone through postpartum depression when I was having my kids, but I don't know because I don't remember a lot of those times when they were little, but that's okay. Amen. That's okay. Pregnancy brain is a thing, and that's okay. But I wanted to share with you guys some statistics that I found just to bring awareness. Amen. So if you know someone that may be struggling with some of these things, then you can be able to help and offer whatever assistance you can to help them to cope with it. Amen. Okay, mamas. So the first thing that I was researching was postpartum depression. And with postpartum depression, so if you're not aware of the term, it's depression after having children. Um, so it says postpartum depression affects approximately 10 to 20% of women globally, making it one of the most common complications of childbirth. In the US, about 1 in 8 new mothers experience postpartum depression symptoms. And over the last decade, diagnosis rates have nearly doubled. So the mamas out here are going through it with this postpartum depression. And while I'm at it, let me just pull up the actual textbook definition so that way we have it. Amen. Because I just realized that I didn't um write down the definition, which is not like me. So let me do a quick search. Okay, so postpartum depression is a serious, long-lasting mood disorder that can occur during pregnancy and up to a year after childbirth. It goes beyond the normal, short-lived baby blues by severely interfering with daily function, and it can affect anyone, including adoptive parents and surrogates. I didn't even know that part. Amen. Wow. Okay. The exact cause is unknown, but PPD is often triggered by a combination of rapid hormonal shifts, physical exhaustion, lack of sleep, and a history of depression. Key symptoms of PPD can vary in intensity, but they typically include persistent feelings of sadness, anxiety, or worthlessness, difficulty bonding with or caring for your baby, severe mood swings, including intense anger or irritability, extreme fatigue, as well as sleeping or eating too much or too little, withdrawing from family and friends. And then it says seek immediate medical attention if you experience reoccurring thoughts of death, suicide, or harming yourself or your baby. So that's what postpartum depression is, and that's what it looks like. And furthermore, 40% of Black women experience postpartum depression symptoms. 40% of Black women. And just imagine that's Black women, Black mothers, 40% of us are dealing with this in some way, shape, or form. That's a staggering number just for the Black women alone. And we already talked about in a previous episode about heart health and how heart disease is taking us out, not only women in general, but Black women. So we have so many things against us, and that's why it's now is the most important time than ever to be checking in with ourselves, health-wise, physically, mentally, all that stuff. Because these things are trying to take us out, and we can't go down without a fight. Amen. And then I also wrote some stuff down about depression. So approximately 24% of women currently live with depression, and up to 35% of women ages 30 to 44 report receiving a depression diagnosis in their lifetime. In their lifetime. I'm in that 30 to 44-year-old category. And I know that I've dealt with levels of depression. I picked up a book last year. It was called High Functioning, and I think I talked about it in an episode, Book Club 2.0, I think. I'll link it in the cards where I was sharing the different books that I've read that kind of like helped me through my healing journey and my growth journey as a person and my spiritual journey. And after reading that book, or even not even after, while I was reading that book, some of the signs and symptoms of high functioning depression I felt like I had and I was exhibiting. So that was a really good book. I'll leave a link to it in the show notes and in the description on YouTube if you'd like to pick up a copy. Because a lot of us are dealing with that too, where it doesn't look like us being sad every day, but it could look like, anxiety. Like the things on the inside that you really can't see on the outside could be labeled as high functioning depression. And, not being able to sleep for more than a certain amount of hours, not eating like you should, not having any appetite, things like that can be signs and symptoms of it. So, and then lastly, I want to tell you guys about this weathering terminology. So premature biological aging and physiological deterioration caused by the chronic daily stress of systemic oppression, racism, and socioeconomic adversity. It describes how prolonged exposure to microaggressions and marginalization slowly chips away at mental and physical well being. It affects individuals and communities facing systemic and ongoing adversity. So, this term was coined not only for, Black people, but any group facing inequality or adversity. So, our LGBTQ plus people, any other race or group or demographic facing adversity. So, yeah, that's what I was reading up on, y'all. We got to check ourselves. We got to check in with ourselves mentally. If that means going to therapy, going to talk to someone about it, if that means taking like a little time to yourself, a little mini vacation where it's just you and you're relaxing, creating like a spa day or a self-care day at home, just taking care of yourself, journaling, praying, anything like that, doing your hobbies, arts and crafts, whatever brings you joy, do that. Because not only do our babies need us, but we need us. Amen. We're trying to be here for the long ride. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves mentally as well. Um, so that's pretty much it, mamas. I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do not forget to share it with another mama who you think would also find it helpful. Also too, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at motherhood_ghetto. You can also DM me there if you want to ask any questions about mom life, raising teenagers, single mom life, widow life, anything like that. An open book, raising a child with special needs, autism, anything like that. If you have any questions or you want to share any of your experiences about motherhood and your motherhood journey, I would love to hear it. Also too, if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, don't forget to follow the show so that way you are notified when I drop new episodes. And also too, if you're listening on Spotify, you can leave comments there. And lastly, if you're watching on YouTube, hey mama, don't forget to subscribe. Try to get my subscribers up so one day I can monetize this channel. Amen. So, um, thank you guys again so much for tuning in today. And just remember that you're not alone. Whatever you may be feeling, whether you may be in a good space right now and everything is good, or you may be in a not so good space, just know that you're not alone and the help that you need or may need, it's out there. You just got to find it and you got to do what works best for you. But the main thing is that we recognize it, we check it, and we check in with ourselves and we figure out what we can do to help ease that tension in our minds and to help us get back to a better space mentally, whatever that looks like for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.